it as you're talking. If you don't remember, just
thank you so much, and for staying tuned. I am being joined by Okechukwu Onugbogu, and he is an in-house analyst. So let's get to digest whether or not it is necessary for the creation of extra 30 states, though it is being publicly announced yesterday on all media platforms that it was 31 states. Like I said earlier, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, has come out to say that it was actually 30 states and not 31 states. So in total, it is going to be 66 states in Nigeria. What difference is that going to make? Is that necessary? Is that what we should be talking about? Let's have Okechukwu Onugbogu help us analyze. It's glad to have you join me this evening.
Thank you so much, Mercy.
Welcome.
Talk about getting to have 36 states, 30 more states to add to 36, so as to become
66 states.
And of course, well, as far as I think, of course, I've also heard leaders of groups like Afenifere, Hanez Ndibo, Ariwa Consultative Conference, and all that council. They have rarely said that, in fact, the culminating point is that they are saying that it's unnecessary.
Okay.
I think same way, it's unnecessary. We don't need to do this at a time like this.
Exactly.
Creating 30 more states, even creating 3 more states, we even need it. Because what we're after, what we should be thinking about is variability. Look at Nigeria as it is now. Some state governors have not been able to pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Now you want to create more states. When you create more states, these governors in these states would also have problem of not finding money to pay.
Exactly.
So what do we call that? It doesn't make sense, really, talking about that.
All right, viewers, a gentle reminder that our phone lines are now open for you to call in to join the conversation. Well, some people have argued that the creation of more states will bring the people closer to the government. And in a way, I'm thinking, if people who are arguing that creation of more states are going to bring the people closer to the government, then what are the local government chairmen doing exactly?
That's the point. If you say you're getting them closer to the government, which government are you talking about? Because if you say closer to the government, are you talking about bringing them closer to the federal government or bringing them closer to the state or local governments? Which government? Or are they trying to say bring them closer to governance? All these things are the things we need to consider. If you're bringing people closer to what? If you say closer to the government, you want people from your state, the new state, to become people that will be seen by the federal government. It's because of the fact that they are all resting these days. All they want is to relax at the end of the month. They'll go to the federal account to collect money. That is the problem. The point is that you don't need it. I have said earlier in this station, of course, in the earlier program we had today, that it is laziness on the part of people to think of such a thing at a time like this. There are things that we have in every state of this country, and these things are the things that will help us. Mineral resources, natural resources that God has given us that we can use to develop wherever we are. But no, they don't want to do that. Nobody wants to go through pains any longer. Nobody wants to suffer. They want to get it. Just go to the federal accounts and collect money and come back and share. Then you relax. At the end of the month, you go again and collect money and share. The ones that they have been collecting, what have they done with it?
Exactly.
Look at the states of Nigeria. How many states of Nigeria have you gone and you have seen pipe-borne water running quite okay all through? I don't know whether there's any state that has it all. And they're talking about this kind of thing. Why not I get people that have good reasoning to be able to stay as people who are already governors today and local government chairmen to start implementing these things. Look at so many places. You look at their schools, you weep for them.
You wonder if there is a government in this community.
You see, there is a primary school here. You go to the primary school, there are only 2 buildings. And even in those 2 buildings, nothing in them. No chairs. The children are still in this current world, sitting on the ground to take lectures. And you call that development? Yet, what we will see is someone will come and make noise that I'm going to bring school here. When they finish, they will get old zinc, and paint it red. So we think it is something new. It is old zinc that is even getting destroyed, that they just paint red and put on top of the buildings. And they say they renovated that house and they built a good place. It doesn't make sense. When rain comes, you understand that that thing was arrant nonsense that they did. You don't see, these are the things we need to think about, not how to create state, not how to get close to the government. Which government are you getting close to? Many people, many young people today, many children don't have opportunity to go to school. In this country, in this same country, they are not talking about that. What can they do? How do we help so that every child must go to school? As it used to be, like, look at our country. This is the place where people say, oh, good old days. Even when, like myself, people of my age, when I was younger, I used to hear my parents say good old days. Now I'm saying good old days. So the children, would they still say good old days?
Good old days, right?
You know? Because there is nothing good again we're seeing in these current days. They can't go to school and have a roof over their heads. Some of them stay under trees, yet they are in state. So, and they're talking about
I'm even wondering, you know, if for some of our representatives to come out in a grappling economy like this, and challenges that we're being faced with. Number one is that the global world is faced with a global challenge. Then we come down here to Africa, Nigeria especially. We have so many problems to deal with. We talk about insecurity. But before I continue, we have a caller right here. Let's quickly hear from the caller. We're glad to have you join us on the show. Good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
Good evening. Thank you for joining. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Elkana Timothy Sondi, calling from Taraba State.
All right, please go ahead with your thoughts.
In fact, hearing what you people are discussing, I believe that the issue of creating more state in Taraba State is a welcome development.
Okay.
But for me, the time is too bad for us.
Okay.
I am saying this because looking at the insecurity challenges here and there, I think creating more state today or this time around is not the best.
Okay.
The best thing for us to do as a country, let us try to solve the situation on ground.
Okay.
Let us try to make sure that our security architecture is so nice that one can begin to say, yeah, this is the time for everybody to sit down and begin to enjoy our country.
Okay.
If we are creating more state by now, for me, we are creating more trouble.
Exactly.
Because we are having problem on ground. We are unable to solve it, and we are trying to create more problem. So I think let us wait till the time comes.
All right.
This is my take on it.
Thank you so much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Well, like I said before the caller joined, we have so many things where there is a country I know of that is that is well more to do than Nigeria, that has just about 28 states in it. Then how much more we've not been able to fulfill all that we're supposed to as a country with the 36 existing 36, and now talking about creating of more states. I don't see it. Doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
That's the point. It does not make any sense to think of something.
And again, I feel like this is a way of, for some people who have some personal interest, in a way of trying to divert public funds, because you cannot tell me that someone wakes up in this day and time with all that we're faced with, and you're talking about creating more states. Like
that state you are creating, some people are suffering in that state now that they don't even have hope.
Existing states, rather the
existing ones.
People don't even have food. We can't even talk about security. People can't even go to sleep with their eyes closed. And you're talking about creating more states. Hello, good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello, good evening. How are you? I'm Abakar from Niger State.
Alright, Abubakar from Niger State. Please, you have 60 seconds.
Yes, thank you for having you this time around. So, you see, the problem we're having in this country, I don't know the ideas that our leaders are working with.
Okay.
Assuming, look at the issue of local government autonomies. That government alone cannot handle this issue. Look at the table, look at the issue they were brought on the table now. What are they doing with state creation now?
Okay.
They should try and solve the problem that's on the ground. Let them solve the problem for the local government. Then they should go back and discuss about the creation of new states.
All right.
It's better. They are killing the local government.
All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts. All right. Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Well, again, Mr. Okechukwu, some people have argued that I want to get your thoughts on what you think about the Southeast region. Some people have talked about in trying to, create a holistic environment. Some believe that it is justifiable when you talk of equity that's on the Southeast, but both the Southeast, both the Southwest. Now, to your own understanding, do you think even just the Southeast alone, do you think is justifiable?
Well, I guess what you're talking about is what has to do with creating another state in Southeast, maybe one more state in the Southeast to make it like the others. What I've even said on that is not even one state in the Southeast. 2 more states in the Southeast and 1 state in every other region, every other zone, so as to become 7 as it is in the Northeast, so that we'll all have 7. That's what I'm saying. So if that's what they even brought up now.
I'm sorry to cut you short. Give me a moment. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Tony calling from Anambra State, Onitsha precise.
Femi from Anambra State. Glad to have you on the show. Please go ahead.
Please, I don't know why our lawmakers will be thinking of a new state.
Okay.
At this point when our economy is very bad. Nigeria economy is very bad. They are not doing anything about it.
Okay.
Rather they are escalating our budget. The first budget that was the last budget that was passed, and until now nobody has been able to give accurate account of those things, those money that were used.
Okay.
Now they are increasing our budget, and not only that, they are sitting busy now talking about new states. When they are supposed, even if they want to do such thing, they should go to regions. They should make Nigeria go into regions, 3 regions that has been working for us even before this time.
Okay.
Why creating more states?
All right.
The question we need to ask them.
All right.
They should look into the problem of this country. They don't have the sympathy of the citizens of this country.
All right.
So that is my own take on it.
Thank you very much, Tony from Anambra, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Tony. You see, it's still the same thing. We need to look at what we are doing. We need to see how we can help ourselves. You see, like what you get, as I was saying, that we need to even feed our people. The health sector is something it is nothing to write home about. Talking about the health of people in these interior places, in hinterland. Go and find out that you may come to one place and there is no health center in the entire community. If a woman is pregnant, apart from those in the local thing and some maybe private fellows, if it's government, you have to carry that woman when she wants to be delivered of a baby. You carry her to another community. We don't need such things in our country today. We need to develop all those things. As I asked earlier, there is no place where you find pipe bomb water for every community in a state in Nigeria today. Nowhere. I don't think, even Lagos, I don't even think you will find it for every community in the entire state. And people are talking about creating states. When you create states, just as one of them mentioned, you are creating more problem. You need to handle it. You need to follow the things involved, because it's not just talking about creating a state. A lot is involved. You need to do a whole lot to make sure that the lives of people are safe. Talk about security today. There is a problem almost in every state in this country about insecurity. Nobody, that's what they should be thinking of. What do we do to help people? How can something be done to help people? And how do we empower the local governments so that they can work well? Since they are the governments that you say the local government system is the nearest government to the people. Beef it up effectively. Encourage them to do the work they need to do. let there be good roads, even if they are not asphalted like the way the federal government's road will be on state. But let there be good roads, link roads, to make sure that people who produce food and such things around, they can, from the farm, bring out their products so that the products will not be wasted. It will be easy for them to come out and sell so as to make some money to help themselves. This is one thing they need to talk about. Talk about how to help so that everybody, every child there is well educated. As I was thinking about this in the West. That's why I was saying good old days. In the good old days, when Obafemi Awolowo was the person in charge of the Western region, he brought in a lot. He was the one that brought free education for his people. That's why people still respect him up to today, talk about him, not minding that he's no longer there. He did a lot of things. Well, if you want to show that you are good in that place, why not plan that let there be a way that there will be free education or free basic education all over the country? Please,
okay, we lost that caller.
They are not doing that. What they are doing is to talk about creating states so that we have many more governors who will go and sit back and wait till month's end. They will come and collect from federal account and go back and share and relax and do whatever they like with the money. That's not what we're supposed to be thinking about today.
Definitely. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set, please.
Hello?
Hello, tune down the volume of your TV set. All right, please, before you call, please kindly tune down the volume of your TV set so we could hear you clearly and also the viewers can hear you clearly. Now, I have a question. Do you think the agitation of this creation of more states would address any sort of gap or challenges? Because I think I've listened to, okay, that's the, I think the spokesperson on information at the House of Rep or something talked about the agitation creating more gap, filling in more gap, or addressing some challenges, which I don't really know, because to me I see no challenges that this is actually going to address, in all sincerity. But before you take that question, we have a caller here. Hello, good evening. Oh, we lost that caller. Please, you might have to call us back. So, in your own thoughts and your own understanding, do you think there is any sort of gap or challenge that this is going to address?
There is no gap it will address. There is no challenge it will address.
Rather, it will create more challenge.
Yes, it will create a whole lot more. All they need is to go and work on the electoral process to ensure that people's votes count, so that people will have confidence to come and vote. And when they vote in good people that will come to their states and govern and do due diligence in the work they are coming to do in their states. That's what we need. Right. Not all this. We'll still talk.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you on the program. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
My name is Mohammed Umar, for calling you from Niger State.
Okay, Mohammed, please go ahead.
Okay, this proposal of increasing of states.
Okay.
I don't think it can save Nigeria from the problem.
All right.
Because solving this issue we are facing in Nigeria now, I think Mr. President or the House of Representatives, they should find something better than this that they are doing right now.
Okay.
And according to the proposal I showed, I didn't find Niger State on the proposal, which is not supposed to be like that, because Niger State is the largest state in the country.
Okay.
So I would like to advise the proposers, they should check again and do something about it.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution.
That is the way you keep saying it. Other people will also come and add their own. Other people will say, come and add their own. That these ones, I didn't see it from my state. I didn't see this from my state. So it's a never-ending circle. It keeps going on and going on. So the better thing is to, as I was saying, get someone, let there be good electoral process so that good men will come, men and women, of course, because there are many good women that want to come and become governors. Let's support them. Let them come out. Having good antecedents, then we can vote them in. They will come in and do good. Do things that would help the populace. That's what we need. It's not state, but it's people who have their minds put in order. There needs to be serious reorientation for Nigerians, so that we will see it not that is the person that has the most money that comes and becomes a governor. When such a person comes, because he has spent a lot, he will want to recoup. He will face the work and collect money the way he needs to collect the money, and do little for you. And we're talking. It's not right. What we need is to help to make sure that the electioneering goes well, the voting goes well, and there will be no vote buying and all those things. These are the things we need to do, so that the person that people want to vote for will be the person that will come out. And when the person comes, you know why people voted that person in. The person they will vote such a person in because they know he can do something. They know he can do something. Not the one that ate that they ate his money, or the one that gave them a bag of
that
rice.
is there for recovery.
Yes, and that is going to recoup all that. First of all, before anything. And then when the fellow comes, he will make more money and say, if you like, don't vote for me again, I don't care. I will buy it. That's what we're seeing in the country. And creating voter apathy. People will soon stop coming to vote at all. Let's have a National Electoral Commission that will tell us the truth. Let's face it. These are the things we need. Let things be done the right way they ought to be done. Everywhere, both in local government, state government, and the federal thing. Not just only presidency, even in local governments. If you have good people that will stay in local governments and do well, then it will work out. After all, when the local governments all are in order, then the states follow, then the nation, the federal follows. It's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Usman Damatu, good evening and glad to have you join us on the program.
Hello, good evening, and how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think our problem in this country is all our legislative or what would I call them? They are just got elected without having any plan in their in their office.
Okay.
Because many of them, they just found themselves in that office without having any plan for the nation.
Yes.
When they go there, so few people who have something will instigate them and tell them, please support me, I will do this, I will do that.
Okay.
Because you elected me from my own bush, I don't know anything, I just went there, keep on warming the seat. When somebody starts talking and I hear his English good, unlike my own English, I will say, this man knows what he's doing, let me follow him.
Okay.
But if not, this creation of states in this country, believe me, some state capitals don't have even water.
Okay.
Right now, I am telling you, every day I spend nothing less than 1,200 to buy water.
Every single day?
Yes.
Even today, I have to buy water.
1,200 naira. Wow.
And above sometimes. And now you are talking of raising of state. Where are you going to get the money? And if you get the money, who is going to handle the money? Now we are getting a lot of money.
Okay.
But the money is being taken away by some few individuals.
Exactly.
And if they are using this money according to the budget and the law of the nation, I think there is nothing wrong with creating any state. If you say each and every family will be given their own state, like the way they are giving this, oh my God. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Oh, well, again, do you think this proposal will see the light of the day? Because we've seen something like this happen, and we saw it when he came up with the tax reform bill. We saw when it was brought upon, some senators, some lawmakers, kicked against it. Nobody even wants to hear about it. And I remember, a ranking senator described that bill as dead on arrival. But today we've seen that the tax reform bill has seen the light of the day, not even like almost seen the light of the day. So do you think at the end of the day this proposal will see the light of the day, even though that some people have come out to say, oh, this is not making sense, but we know how it is in this country.
Well, I
lobbying will go on and the rest of it. But give me a moment before you answer that question. Hello, good evening.
I'm sorry, my network at my line went off at the same time.
It's okay, sorry about that.
Yes, you know, as I am saying, now they are giving each and every town first class chief. And now they are trying to make additional state 60 something. And later on you will hear to create another local government over 2,000 again.
Okay.
And these offices that they are going to create, where are they going to get the money to maintain them?
Exactly.
The little that we are getting now is not being used accordingly. And now you are creating more burden in the money.
All right.
So please let them think of something better for the masses.
Okay.
There is no point of creating state, local government, emirate council, everywhere. It is very bad. Some areas now, they don't have anything to feed their family. They depend on the local government money. And the local government money is being controlled by the state government.
Exactly.
So how are we going to survive when they create additional 30-something state, please? Let them think of something good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Usman Damaturu, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Well, that's it. As far as I know, and as far as right-thinking people know, we don't need all that. It's not going to see any light of day.
And what if it does? Because in Nigeria, you know, they won't cease to always amaze and surprise us, you know.
But let me tell you, some time ago, there were agitations for some states to be created.
Okay.
And I think it was in the 7th Assembly. They talked about it. Even the 8th Assembly talked about it. When they talked about it, they were talking about the fact that it was needed for equity and all that. And after everything, more people added their own to mess up those words that those people came for. At the end of the day, it was shoved aside. And anyway, the process of state creation is not even what ends in 6 months. There's a lot involved. And the Constitution has not made it so easy for people. If it were to be that easy, you would have had it all the while. So by the time they finish going through the constitutional requirements, you'll find out that these things will just be thrown aside. That's one thing.
Thrown aside, for at least for a country that barely manufactures. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Glad to have you on the show. Good evening.
Good evening. I think, by my own opinion, I think that is not the right decision to take.
Come again.
It's not the right decision to take.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am. Sorry, you might have to call us back.
Yeah, sorry. I think he said that he thinks it's not the right decision to take. Every right-thinking fellow should think that way. It's not the right decision to take. Honestly, I don't know what happened.
Because the deputy speaker has come has said that it's not been decided yet. It will be put out on the floor of the house. Then there will be votes. But how come, you know, when there is votes, what if they choke us?
It's not possible. That's number one. Number two, remember that even when, let's assume that everything works in the House of Reps, you still need to go to the Senate. And after that, you need to go to the state's houses, you know, for these things to work. So there's a lot involved. And the Senate has said that we should be thinking of viability, economic viability. Not saying that you're creating a state where the governor can't do anything. There is no money for him to do anything because they cannot raise anything
by themselves.
It's only going to federal account to.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. Glad to have you on the show. Please, can you speak up a bit so we could hear you?
You know, the legislators, they are just competing themselves and not Nigerians.
Okay.
They don't need to create any state for now.
All right.
We have numerous problems that are stopping the of the nation.
Okay.
That should be the last thing that they should put in their mind.
All right.
Are you hearing me well?
Yes, I am. All right.
That's my statement.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution and have yourself a good evening. Hello, good evening. Please, you have 60 seconds. Your name and where you're calling us from. Good evening.
Ahmed from Lokoja.
Ahmed from Lokoja. Please go ahead.
Yes, the additional creation of new state to me, it doesn't make any sense because the existing one we're having, if there's proper good governance, I don't think there'll be any need for any additional, state.
Okay.
It's just a way of trying to siphon public funds. Just one opinion. But
All right.
however, good governance, I don't think we'll need any further state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Muazu, thank you so much. That's it, and that's what we're saying here. That let's just be honest with ourselves and do the right thing.
The right thing.
I think, as I said earlier in another program, that this could be a form of distraction. Let's not be distracted. Let's face the facts that we have around us.
I think there are so many. There are more than
opportunities to stay to
exactly to channel energy to. You talk about job creation. You talk about Nigeria barely manufacture nothing.
Yes,
so everything that we use in this country is every single thing is almost being imported. We can't even boast of our agricultural sector because of insecurity. We literally cannot boast of anything. Then I'm wondering how all these challenges are swept under the carpet and coming up with creation of more states.
We don't need to
it
talk
doesn't
about
make
that.
any sense.
Yes.
Well,
so I think whatever happens, they will drop it and face the matters that are important.
They had better drop it because you can see literally no Nigeria is in support of this. All we need in this country, and having been blessed as a nation, is good governance. When we have the right people on seats, everything, people who have the interest of the people at heart, you see that everything begins to work well. Of course, Nigeria is already a blessed country. So I must say thank you so much indeed for being with me in the studio this evening. Okichukwu Onugbogu, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and for those of you that called, we do appreciate your contribution. For those of you that were unable to take your calls, sincere apologies. Some other time you'll be lucky to join the conversation. And this is why we'll leave it this evening. But before I sign out, let me also say this to the people in power. Nigerians who have voted you there are entrusting you with what they think and what they know is best for them. So I think it is best to heed to the yearnings of Nigerians. Let's talk about something better. Let's talk about job creation. Let's talk about improving our security sector. Let's talk about our agriculture. Let's talk about education. There are so many things we can go on and on to talk about, rather than bringing creation of more state that is not adding any value to Nigeria as a nation. So that being said, thank you so much for watching, and do stay tuned on Kaftan Television. I am Messi Emanite. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Have yourself a wonderful evening.